Let's see, am I live? Okay. So it looks like I'm live here. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm gonna have like three different things open here. So, anyways, how are you guys? Thank you guys for joining me. Um, this was not necessarily impromptu. Hey, everybody. Good. You guys can see me. Everybody can hear me. Okay, good. I know it's been a while since I've been live, and I didn't realize it had been that long until Devin hit me up the other day. Like, when are you gonna go live? You haven't been live in a while, but I have been really, really busy. So I don't just go live when somebody dies, like that stupid idiot said that got blocked in the chat. Cause I be reading my chats, honey. Don't think that when I'm getting ready, I'm not creeping and reading what y'all are writing. So they went to the block party tonight. Hope they enjoy their fish and grits. So, anyways, I've been busy, as you guys know. I have been working nonstop to get everything ready for my CBD skin and hair care line that is getting ready to drop this week. Everything will be available for purchase within the next 48 hours or so, give or take. So that's been keeping me busy, been creating commercials and hiring voiceover artists, and I've been busy with my business. So I just have not had any extra time to go live because I feel like when I go live, I want to give you guys my energy and everything else, and I have literally been drained. This entire process has drained me. So thank you guys for your patience. You know what I'm saying, and just sticking around. Yes, I'm glad everybody's doing good. Okay, that's what's up. You like the lipstick? Thank you. So the day was insane. I was busy. I was with my youngest son when everything went down earlier today. So I've been taking him to go scout schools because he'll be in ninth grade next year. So we're scouting schools. We're trying to get him into schools with good basketball programs because you guys know that is my little basketball player, right? So I'm trying to, we were going on different interviews at different schools. So we had an interview today with the school, and it was wonderful. We had a really wonderful time. Got a chance to meet the kids there, the coach, the staff. It was really nice. And so in between the break of meeting with everybody and walking around the school, I check my phone and I'm seeing a post that Pop Smoke died. So that just like took the wind out of me because it's like, damn, again, like 2020 is not holding no prisoners. And this entire situation was it was really sad. Like when I came back, I was just drained. I took a long nap. I was like, I just need some sleep right now. This is just too much to process. I hate anytime I hear about a young person passing away before their time. He was only 20 years old. So, this entire situation is really sad. Now, there's a lot of things that I just been learning from people in my DMs, people sending me screenshots, people just trying to put me up on game with the whole Pop Smoke situation. Now, I'm not going to lie and act like I knew all his music and I listened to everything. I knew he had the Welcome to the Party song and he did the remix with, Nicki Minaj, jumped on his song or whatever, and they had a remix together. But, other than that, I didn't listen to a lot of his new music. He was still a new up and coming artist, but I did know about him. We posted about him before, and the story that made him go viral just like a few days before his death was him being mad at Paris, who is a photographer who took his picture. His name is Paris Marley, and he was really pissed off about that. And it was just a funny story looking back on it. And I went to Paris's Instagram page, and he hasn't said anything, concerning Pop Smoke. Just probably, probably feels bad. But that was like the most recent story was him being upset at the photographer. And the photographer, they were going back and forth. And he was like, okay, that's not my fault. That's your face. That's just how the picture came out. So I just thought it was funny because I'm like, and that's what young people do. They're so, they put on a bravado, but at the end of the day, they still have a lot of insecurities and self-consciousness and things like that. So, I understood him for being mad, but at the end of the day, the photographer was just doing his job. So, to hear that story and laugh about it, and then only, 6 days later for him to die is just really disturbing. Okay, so you guys remember that? Yeah, that was just literally like 6 days ago. Like when I seen the story, I was cracking up because he was so upset. Like, yo, so you just gonna take pictures of me, you know what I'm saying, looking like this and looking like that? And it's like, bruh, that's just what happens, especially now that you're blowing up and you're becoming a celebrity. There will be bad pictures taken of you. That's just life, But he's young and he's just trying to figure that out. So, I thought that was really funny. But yeah, I just, so from what a lot of people were telling me, is that basically the night before he was posting a lot of stuff on his Instagram. And then on top of that, there's like a whole bunch, there's a gang element to the situation. He was like a woo crip. And so there's like this new gang thing in Brooklyn that, people are in my DMs like trying to put me up on game. I'm like, y'all got to break this down because I'm old. I grew up when it was just Bloods, Crips, Vice Lords, and GDs. Well, I guess in Brooklyn there's like woos and chews, and he was a woo crip. And then people were sending me DMs of, I guess, the Chew Bloods or making fun of him. Honey, my DM is in shambles right now. Like, just with so much information, I feel like I'm having information overload, but you guys teach me stuff that I had no idea about. So it's just, it's insane just, putting that on top of it. And I also watched his interview with Angie Martinez, to try and get a feel for his personality and the things that he was talking about. But I want to go ahead and play you guys the news clip. And then I also want to show you guys what he had posted on Instagram 24 hours before his death. So I want you guys to go ahead and check this stuff out, and I'm going to come back with the rest of, the live stream. Let's see here. Nope, that's the wrong video. I have so many little clips here. Give me a second.
Pop Smoke, a rapper on the rise, has died at the age of 20. A rep for the LAPD confirmed to ET that police responded to an emergency call at 4:29 a.m. Wednesday morning after an unknown number of suspects en masse entered a residence and shot a victim. The victim was then transported to a local hospital and pronounced dead upon arrival. The incident took place at a rental home property owned by the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Teddy Mellencamp, who addressed the news on Instagram, writing, "We would like to extend our prayers and condolences to the family and loved ones affected by this tragic loss of life." Now the hip-hop community is paying tribute to the young rapper. Nicki Minaj, who released a remix of Welcome to the Party with Pop Smoke in 2019,
"You wanna party with Barbie."
posted on Instagram saying, "The Bible tells us that jealousy is as cruel as the grave. Unbelievable. Rest in peace, Pop." Quavo collaborated with Pop Smoke on his song Shake the Room. He honored him by writing, "Got to know this kid. Young Boss and the Honcho was here to share that anytime you called me. R.I.P." Chance the Rapper also paid his respects and tweeted, "You were too young. God bless and comfort your family." When it rains, it pours. Pop Smoke's rap career was on the rise. He just released his highly anticipated mixtape, Meet the Woo 2. Baby girl, come and meet the woo. And he was also scheduled to go on tour this spring.
Okay, let me go ahead and show you guys this other video of Pop. Check this out. Okay, yeah, that one, I don't know if that one had sound. I think certain parts had sound, and then other parts didn't have sound on that video. But it's really crazy, the stuff that's going on with this situation. So from what I'm being told by a lot of people, if you guys saw that video that I posted, he was basically showing off the gifts that he got. The home that he was staying in was one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Teddy Mellencamp's, her husband's home or whatever. So he was staying in their home in Beverly Hills, and so he was showing off gifts. And so as he's showing this off, you can see the address on the gift. Somebody obviously, screenshotted it, and you can see it clear as day. So a lot of people are saying here, let me show you guys. That address that's on that gift is what they match to the house. And then on top of that, his homeboy, Mike D, he also posted video and pictures in front of the house, and you could slightly see the address. So it didn't take a lot for somebody to put two and two together. But there's still a lot of shady circumstances. Now, what really disturbed me when I went to Mike D's Instagram page, and I have a bunch of notes here, because a lot of people are like going off on Mike D. And Mike D is Pop Smoke's best friend. They grew up together. A lot of folks were saying that this had to be a setup. How come, somebody breaks into the house at 4:30 in the morning? They were having some type of party, and only Pop Smoke is the only one that got shot. Everybody else was okay. And so people were going to Mike D's Instagram page, and those comments that I saw were so disturbing. The accusations, the cloud of suspicions, the disrespect, people calling him a murderer. You should have been killed too. He was the hot one. I mean, I saw some really, really disturbing comments that made me hurt as a parent to see that being said to these young men. And it's like, at the end of the day, that's his homeboy. I'm sure he's mourning right now. So Mike D did come out and say something. He basically deleted all his pictures. So everything that was on his Instagram page is now blank except for one picture. And it's like a slideshow of him and Pop Smoke. So I'm going to go ahead and read to you guys what Mikey D had to say. Oh, we got a super chat here. Third Eye Girl says, definitely an inside job. People are out here struggling and they want it the easy way. Yeah, there's a lot of accusations being flown around. I never want to accuse anybody. People are saying that he sacrificed them. I never want to use my platform to accuse people, because remember, you guys, before we start talking about sacrifices and saying that he was set up by his best friend, remember when XXX got killed? People accused those two boys from Jacksonville who had nothing to do with the situation of killing XXX, when they were just happened to be posting stuff, and it just happened to be coincidence. But those two boys had nothing to do with XXX killing, but the internet was ready to hang them, and then they found the real killer. So we have to be careful, with accusations, because accusations, again, can come with consequences. Remember, when Zach TV got killed, people accused his best friend of setting him up, said the best friend got him killed, and what happened? A few days later, his best friend was killed. So we have to be just be mindful, okay? Even if you feel like Mikey set him up and has something to do with it, be mindful with the energy that you put out there, because I don't want this young man hurt, especially if he didn't have anything to do with it. That's just me being an adult. That's just me coming from a parent point of view. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. I'm glad you guys understand where I'm coming from. I never want to put that type of energy out there towards anybody without proof, because when you're talking about a murder, that's something very serious. And when you're talking about tensions and a gang and all that stuff, tensions are very high. And we don't want to put that type of energy out there without proof, okay? So let me go ahead and read to you guys what Mikey D had to say. Give me just a second here. I also took notes because that's really small. So Mikey D says, can't nothing express the pain I'm feeling. I just lost my fucking brother. My heart, my dog. You guys have no sense of sympathy. Y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all come out here playing investigator, bashing me on the internet. I would never in my life set my brother up. We ate together. We broke bread together. This really my mother's child. I don't got to explain nothing to nobody that don't know me. But for the ones who know me, when you saw me, you saw Pop. 100. We live in such a fucked up society. Y'all got to wake up. Just know I got you forever, brother. The truth will come to light. Until then, sleep in peace. Sad face emojis. So, hold on. Okay, so you guys just heard me read that. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know the backstory. None of us were there. So I don't want to accuse this young man, because like I said, what I saw on his Instagram page today, it drained me so much I took a nap. I was just like, you had grown people in there. You had people with blue check marks, accusing him of setting him up. Like, I'm all for playing, internet detective, but then it's you have to be careful when you're just accusing people, just blindly. You have to really watch that. And at the end of the day, I pray this wasn't no setup. I pray it wasn't an inside job. I pray his best friend didn't have anything to do with it, But let's wait for the information to come out. I mean, those comments, I definitely understand why he deleted everything and he just left up that post, because those comments were just so disturbing. Like I think I screenshotted a few, but honey, it was just too much. It was just too much. Let me read this here. I'm Frozen Luxury. Hey, boo. I remember I met you at the Mall of America. He says, congratulations on the CBD line. Thank you so much. I never forget fans. I remember that. I was walking, trying to find a bathroom. He comes running up to me like, are you Lovely T? And I'm like, yes, but I gotta pee. But we talked for like 15 minutes. So thank you so much for the support. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Third Eye Girl says definitely an inside job. Okay, hold on, I read that already. Sorry. Tenaciously Me says suspicions are high, but February hasn't been a good month for us. 2020, please do better. Side note, I love you, T. I love you too. And yes, February has been crazy. 2020 so far has just been insane. It's been like one bad thing after another. We start the new year with, Trump killing the Iranian, the second in command in Iran, and then the coronavirus and all that stuff that's still going on. Then we have Kobe Bryant and Gigi and the 7 other people who passed away. Now we have Pop Smoke. So it's just been a really, really trying, less than 2 months of 2020. It really has. Thank you, Anissa, for the dollar. I appreciate it. Let's see. We have a lot of comments in here. Oh, we have over 5,000 people. Well, welcome, everybody. I'm glad you guys are here. So, like I said, there's a lot of stuff to be said about the Pop Smoke situation. But what that we do have proof of that I do really want to address is the flossing on social media. And this is not to knock this young man, because I understand we live in a generation, especially these younger kids, where they floss so much. Everything they have to brag and show. Before he got killed, he was posting, him and Mike, they were posting stacks of money, on top of the gifts that he got that accidentally showed the address. So they both accidentally showed their location. And unfortunately, we live in a world where you have a lot of people who are wolves. You have a lot of people out here who are struggling. They really are not happy for other people. They really don't want to see other people come up, especially if they feel like you don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? If they feel like what you're doing is easy. It's like you're a target. Same thing with XXX. He was traveling with cash on him, getting ready. I think he was going to purchase a motorcycle, and those guys followed him and robbed him and killed him. So a lot of these rappers need to really be aware. A lot of these people, honestly, a lot of these social media people need to really be mindful and aware of the things that they post. They need to be mindful of their surroundings. That's like, even for me, I don't really like to post a lot of stuff on social media. Every now and then, I might post, me in a cute outfit with some Louis shoes or something like that. But it's very rarely. I don't feel the need to really get online and brag and show off to a bunch of strangers. I think it's okay to do it every now and then to give people a treat. But when you're constantly flossing, like there's somebody that I follow, and I don't even know how we started following each other, but he got money. That's all he does. He just sits on social media all day and stunts. He's always showing his cash. He'll post pictures of 5 of his keys. He has a Bentley, a Range Rover, a Maserati, Lexuses. He's like, oh, which car should I take today? And I always get nervous, like you show so much of your life, and he lives in Vegas. He shows so much of his life, and I always get nervous, like, are you not worried about somebody coming after you? He's always showing wads of cash. Like I said, I don't know how we started following each other, but we both do follow each other. His posts always disturb me because it's always like this bragging element. And he's not necessarily famous because even when he posts something, he probably gets maybe 100, maybe 200 comments. So it's almost like, who are you flossing for? There's only like 100 people here. So I think we've just gotten to the point on social media where people floss so much and they're not even thinking that some of the things that they're flossing can make it to where people can pinpoint their location. And another thing is, even though he's up and coming, where was the security? They're traveling around with that much cash. These are young boys. They're 20. So to me, I look at them like kids, and that's no disrespect to him, but I have a 19-year-old. So to me, they're babies. You know what I'm saying? They're babies to me. So my thing is, at 20, even though, yes, they're technically grown, but to me, they're still young. Where is the security? Where are the parents? Where are the people to make sure that they're good? You know, you're flossing Cash. Is it just him and his homeboy together, you know, having each other's backs in LA? You know, you have to think smart when you go out of town. You have to, you know, prepare for all types of things, especially when you're in a city that's not your own. And I know a lot of people were really getting on Blueface earlier today. Let me read this super chat. Jay Mako says, keep the good vibes rolling. I love your channel. Thank you for always making me laugh. Thank you so much for the super chat. And thanks for the support. And thank you, T. Iverson. I'm glad you're liking the commentary. So my thing is, where's the security? You know, like Blueface was saying earlier, a lot of times people go to LA and they have like this misconception, you know, and Biggie said it, you know, people just think it's about seeing nice breasts in the West and palm trees, but there's a shady underbelly to LA. And especially if you're coming from out of town, you can be fooled by the glitz, the glamour, the palm trees, the beaches. But there's a lot of people out there who, you know, who are on nefarious shit. And you have to cross your T's and dot your I's. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like sometimes when we're in our hometown, we're protective of our energy. We're more careful about what we post because that's our hometown. And we all know, like Lil Boosie said years ago, people are hypnotized by hatred. You know, people who know you in your own city don't support you as much as people outside of your city. So sometimes in our own city, we're more cautious about what we post and what we floss. But then when we're out of town on vacation in Miami or in LA, then it's, you know, bring out the bling and the champagne and look at me now and my hair and my clothes and my Gucci bag. Not knowing that those people in that city that you're visiting, they're watching too. So, you know, so how do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about the social media flossing? Do you feel like at this point in time it's getting dangerous? And celebrities and influencers alike need to be really, really careful and mindful of what they're posting. They need to check everything. You know, sometimes people laugh at me and they feel like, oh, you're too cautious. Like when I did that Corona video in my kitchen and I was spraying on my mail. Well, if you guys go back and watch, I had everything pixelated. You know, why would you pixelate your mail? Because y'all don't need to know my motherfucking address. I mean, I know, you know, people's addresses are out there. It is what it is. But I'm not going to just freely put that out there. You're going to have to put in some work to go look for that shit. You know, so it's like you just have to be mindful. So imagine if when he posted that picture, he'd have just blocked it out. You know, just photoshopped it out or just blurred it out. But, you know, I understand when you're flossing, you don't think about that. Okay, so JJ Vega sent a super chat. He said, hey T, you look gorgeous. I'm surprised that Pop didn't have any security with him. Did the home have security? Shake my head, extremely sad. I love you, T, just showing some support when I can. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, I'm shocked as well. I'm very shocked by that. And I just think it's just really sad. You know, like I said, they're doing all this stuff and they're making themselves vulnerable to people who are watching this, especially people who are familiar with LA, who are familiar with the whole culture in the valley and, you know, the home invasions and stuff like that. Let's see here. Let me read some of these comments. Thank you, Barbie Cat. I appreciate the super chat. Welcome, new member, Ayana Jackson. Thank you for joining the membership. Let's see here. Stan7 says it was a hit, gang related. Now, I did talk about that earlier, that he was a woo crip, and I did see some of the comments from the Chews. You know, and for y'all who are just like, what are the woos and chews? Y'all gonna have to like Google, and there's YouTube videos, there's breakdowns y'all can watch. The young kids were putting me up on game today and was breaking down all the new gangs in Brooklyn. So I thank y'all for keeping me abreast because, you know what I'm saying, I'm old. So, you know, I come from a generation when it was just Bloods, Crips, GDs, and Vice Lords. So there's all these new offsets, you know what I'm saying, to these gangs. And so I'm also hearing that it was a possible gang thing as well. You know, which is just sad. The gangbanging thing needs to die. It just does. It's just too many young black men that have lost, you know, generations of young black men that have lost their lives to just gangbanging. It's just really sad, especially in LA. That's part of the culture. Let's see here. Some things should not be shown on social media, especially valuable things, especially if tour money ain't legit and the feds could be looking at you. Daddy says, I would have never guessed you have a 19-year-old. Yes, I do. I have a 19-year-old and I have a 14-year-old. Yeah, me and my 19-year-old, we look more like siblings than mom and son, which just trips everybody out. Um, let's see here. I always tell my 12 and 15-year-old sons to not be flossing on the internet. A lot of people die that way. How would you have clout conversation with your son? Asking because I teach teens that they suffer from showing off. I think for me, I think like my kids are just, I mean, they have social media pages and things like that, but they're just not into the whole social media, I guess what you want to say, like the lifestyle, because one, I'm their mom, and they kind of see the nonsense that I go through, and the negativity. They see both sides. They see the positive aspects of social media, and they also see the negative aspects. So it's just kind of been ingrained in them to just be wary. Always look at your surroundings and things like that. That's why a lot of times I don't really have my kids on camera a lot. I don't. Every now and then they'll pop up. We might take a picture for the gram, but that's just really not their thing, and to each its own. I think you have to be very honest with children that we live in a very evil world. We live in a world where people are not happy for others. There was a case here in the Twin Cities that I really couldn't cover just because it was very close to home. There was a young woman, she was a real estate agent, and you guys probably heard about this story because it was national, but because it was so much, the people involved in the killing and just all that stuff, it was just better for me to stay out of it, right? So she was a realtor. Her boyfriend was always flossing on social media. He was posting pictures of him putting wads of money in the dryer and watching it tumble, and and he was in the streets, and basically they ended up setting her up. It's such a long story, but they ended up setting her up. She was a real estate agent. They went to go look at the home that she was supposed to show them. They kidnapped her, make her take her house keys out, take her to the house where they live, rob the house, kill her, shoot the boyfriend. He ended up surviving. But I'm just saying that to say this, that was a case of social media flossing gone wrong. Because the boyfriend was always flossing what he had on social media, his street money, that people ended up, going after the woman and going after him. So it's really real out there. I think you just have to be very honest with your kids and let them know that, unfortunately. Okay, so Katora, you live in the Twin Cities, so you know the story I'm talking about. Oh, I'm sorry, Indigo Blue. Okay, so you live in the Twin Cities, yeah. It's a really sad story. You have to be honest with your kids and just let them know that everybody's not going to be happy for your blessings, especially when you have a segment of the population who's not doing anything with their life. They have no goals. They have no ambitions. So you have people who, one, they live vicariously through other people, and unfortunately sometimes that breeds jealousy. That's why a lot of these social media people and celebrities, when they sit there and floss and talk all that, oh, I'm here and you're there, or ha ha ha, look what I have and look what you don't, all you're doing is teasing a bunch of wolves. Don't think that you can be untouchable. Treat people with respect, because you never know people's situations. So I've always been against that. There's nothing wrong with being happy of your accomplishments and showing things every now and then. But when, every other, year it's a house tour, or every other year it's, look what I have now, or look at my latest Gucci this, or Fendi that, or my latest this and that, it can start to rub people the wrong way, and it can start to create animosity and jealousy. Unfortunately, that's just human nature. So you have to be very, very mindful of that. Let's see here. Wild B says, flossing is very dangerous, and I've never understood the purpose of it. Everyone doesn't need to know about your blessings. Continue the good work. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I agree 100%. Gazaville, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, I agree 100%. Everybody does not need to know. Remember the case in Florida that I did a few years ago, where the woman was talking about how she bought herself out of homelessness and was able to buy a house and start a business, and it was just not necessarily showing off, but just proud of her accolades. Just something as simple as that got her set up and killed. And then come to find out it was the dude, it was her own baby's father who set her up. So yeah, you have to be very, very careful about things like that because everyone is not happy for your blessings, unfortunately. Rocky Nation says, hi T and everyone. Been watching you since I was in the 5th grade. Oh my gosh. People will accuse you over nonsense. It reminds me of how they did LeBron James just because he didn't run to social media ASAP. Thank you for being a long time tea sipper. I feel like I done raised you. You've been watching me since the 5th grade. Wow. But yeah, you're right. So many people like to put twos together and try to, fit things where they just don't fit. And while it's easy to be upset and want to blame somebody for the death of a Kobe Bryant or, a Pop Smoke, again, we need to let the investigators and the police do their job. Again, if he had something to do with this, it will eventually come out in the wash. But no way, I would never feel comfortable as an adult to go onto a page of a 20-something-year-old kid, okay, because that's what they are to me, and accuse him, be all strong and wrong and say that he did this, this, and that. I just, as an adult, I can't do that. So I was very shocked to see a lot of adults engaging in the bullshit. I mean, like I said, there was a lot of blue check marks, DJs and producers. I'm like, really? Really? Like, were y'all there? And it's like you're fanning the flame. So it's like if the adults are doing that, then what do we expect for the babies to do? Of course, the kids, the junior high and the high school kids are going to run on his social media and say the same thing when you see the blue checkmark brigade sitting there accusing this young man of something that they have no idea if it was a setup or not. So thank you so much for the super chat. Johanna says, Lakeith Stanfield deleted his post about Pop, but he was saying how us as black people do the work for the government and Satan because we kill each other. I wonder why he deleted it. And that's the problem is like, we can't even just tell the truth. A lot of times we're the first ones to hurt each other and bring each other down and tear each other down. The truth is the truth. Like I always tell you guys, the truth is not meant to bring people together. It's meant to divide. So if he posted something like that, he should have just stood in it. If people were upset, it is what it is, Yeah, it's too many times that we hurt each other. And we bring that aura and that negativity towards each other. Instead of being happy for that young man and being happy that he's one of the few to make it out of Brooklyn and he's doing something with his life. He's making music. He has a different sound. He was really helping to put New York back on the map. I mean, he was definitely doing that. I mean, the Tekashi 6ix9ine era is basically over. I'm saying? He was helping to legitimize the New York rap scene. So the fact that people were so bothered by that to the point where they would, go in there and shoot them is just insane. And to me, they really didn't get away with anything. It wasn't even like a robbery where they got away with money and gifts and all that stuff. So it sounds to me like they went in there purposely on some hate and shit where they knew his location. They went in there purposely to take this young man's life. So my heart definitely goes out to his family and, his closest friends. I mean, the whole situation is extremely sad. Kel says, I've been watching you since 5th grade. I'm in college now. Wow. That's amazing. What happened to the girl in Indianapolis? We'll talk about that in a second. They putting 2 and 2 together. They need to put 5 and 5 together and 10 on their own damn business. Yeah, it is. The money of the industry. Is it worth it? Brooklyn forever. Don't be a rapper. No, I don't think, you can be a rapper. I don't think that that's fair because, that's some people's calling. Some people's calling, you got to realize, like I was even talking, when we went to the school earlier today, and that's one thing I did like about the school is that they have a very art-focused program as well. Some people are just more artsy. They're more right brain than left. So I don't think it's fair to say that, well, you just shouldn't rap or you just shouldn't do music. You should be able to do anything. Because, again, we don't tell white kids, you shouldn't do country. You shouldn't do rock and roll. You shouldn't live your best life. So I don't ever want black kids to think that they shouldn't rap because if they get into the rap game, they'll be killed. Like, let's not put that out there. I just think that it's okay to be a rapper. It's okay to be in entertainment, but you also have to be smart. You also have to be aware. You also have to understand your surroundings. I'd rather push that than to say that, kids shouldn't be rappers. If that's where somebody's heart is in the arts, we need to encourage that, because everybody's not going to be a brainiac. Everybody's not left brain. Everybody's not going to be into IT and tech and stuff like that. So I think it's okay to foster, all types of stuff in children, but I just think that this lifestyle, with the flossing on social media, I just think it's a trap, and it's bringing more and more negativity. And I just think that a lot of people, especially social media influencers, some of y'all got money, but a lot of y'all don't. Okay, let's keep that shit real. Very few social media influencers who are bragging and, go check out this ad. They're not living that trife life. Okay. So you might want to be careful what you floss, because a lot of y'all ain't walking around with, security. I can't afford it. So let's keep that real. So I think this should wake up a lot of people to making different moves and different choices. Marvin King, you're beautiful. Are you dating? Every now and then. People are not learning from the mistakes of others. Pop Smoke's family is Panamanian. Okay, I didn't know that he was Panamanian. Panamanian? I don't even know. I'm probably mispronouncing it. His family's from Panama. I can pronounce that, but Panamanian? Did I say it right this time? That's like a word that's hard for me to say. I don't know why. Let's see here. No one should be a rapper if they can't floss, and literally the whole rap game. Yeah, unfortunately the whole rap game is about flossing and certain things. And the people who do rap about positive stuff, they get no shine. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. They get no shine, which is sad. You have to live a secretive life and don't post anything personal on social media. I mean, think about it. I was reading an article the other day about like how much social media has literally changed the fabric of society. And I will always, stand by that. But I was reading this article, and they were saying that the things that we tell strangers on the internet, it's almost mind-boggling when you think about it. Like, you would not go out in the middle of your street right now, right, and tell all your neighbors, I have this in my house, I got a Fendi bag, I got Swarovski crystals, I have diamond tennis bracelets. Like, nobody would stand in their neighborhood and announce to their neighbors who live near them everything they have in their home. But with social media, we've been so conditioned that we're literally telling strangers that we don't know from all over the world everything about us. From our likes to our dislikes, to what we eat, to what we wear, to the things that we're into. So it's really scary when you think about that. There's certain things that you would not tell people in the real world, but yet we get on social media and we shout things out to strangers every day. Y'all get what I'm saying? Yep, facts. It's the truth. Like, we do this every day with strangers, but we won't do this to people in our own community. It's the craziest thing. I can't believe he was lonely at his house when this happened. Usually rappers always have someone with him, even if it's one person. Well, I don't think he was alone. They said there was a party. This happened at like 4 o'clock in the morning, that they had been a party earlier that day. So, who's to say that it wasn't some of the people who came from the party? And that's another thing. I think, who was that? Gilly the Kid was talking about that too, where again, we get so comfortable with social media where sometimes these rappers will tell everybody, yo, I got an Airbnb, we're here, come through. And they'll be like, bring the baddest bitches with you. But you don't know who these females are. You don't know if they're, low-key gang members, or if they're being set by other gang members to set you up. So, again, that's part of that, people getting comfortable because they're out their element, because they're not at home, where they would probably have more, they'd be more reserved at home to tell people their location. But then when they're on vacation, they'll be like, oh, well, I got an Airbnb for the night. All y'all come through. But technically, nobody really knows each other. So it might have been people who came to that party. Were these people that he knew in LA? Were these random people from social media that were invited? I don't know. The intruders came in 10 minutes after the party goers left. Okay. Yeah, so again, they might have been sitting out there in the car, watching everything play out. Because people are so quick to, just announce things on social media. And Love says, TT, we live in a nice neighborhood and we still can't. Ooh, let me go back. These comments are flying. And we still can't cut up our TV boxes. We do not advertise to our neighbors, 80s babies. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Trust me. All my stuff, when I moved into my home, like the TV boxes, all that stuff, we went and found dumpsters and threw them in dumpsters. I put all my empty TV boxes and just anything electronic, just anything expensive. I put everything in my truck and I go to like dumpsters and I just throw it in the dumpster. So I definitely, that's, honey, we're both, 80s babies, 90s kids. That's something we learned years ago. You don't leave no TV box in front of your home because you're basically inviting criminals to know what you just bought, and guess who gonna be in your house? So yeah, that's very smart that you don't do that. That's a tip to you young folks. Take them damn expensive ass TV boxes and, just whatever, put that shit in your car and go dump it in a dumpster. Don't wait for the trash man and that shit be sitting outside a whole 24 hours. Yeah, look, all the older folks, y'all already know. Somebody said I cut my TV boxes into pieces. Exactly. I don't play that at all. A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. Malcolm X. That is the truth. So, okay, so we have about 6,000 people in here. Welcome. Let me see here. There's another comment. Imagine Bill Gates. Okay, hold on. Oh, somebody deleted it. Nope, I didn't delete that. I don't know what happened. Okay, there it is. Imagine Bill Gates posting stacks of money. Never. We need to wise up. We always want validation from people who ain't doing shit themselves. Shake my head. If you got money, you got money. No need to show it. Exactly. No, I definitely agree with that. I don't know why I try to delete your comment. But no, it's the truth. And, that's what I always tell people. Watch the moves of people who really have money. The movers and shakers. You can always tell new money because they got to let the whole world know that they got money. You know what I'm saying? Watch the movers and shakers. You'll never see Bill Gates. You'll never see Mark Zimmerman. You'll never see any of these people who are actually, low-key running the world floss like that on social media. It's always new money. It's always people who've never had anything. And unfortunately, when you do that, again, you're inviting people, to come and feel some type of way. Even a lot of these millionaires and billionaires, a lot of them, they're not running around in, Maserati trucks and Bentleys. I think they said did I say George Zimmerman or did I say Mark Zimmerman? Mark Zimmerman. I think they say he just has a regular car. Like a Ford Fiesta or something. He doesn't have a Bentley. So, those are just some... Oh, Zuckerberg. I'm sorry. That's what it is. I'm saying Mark Zimmerman. Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, he's not running around in a Bentley and stuff like that. So, sometimes it's good to look at those types of people and see how they wear their wealth. Great example, Steve Jobs. He was always in some regular, damn jeans and a black turtleneck. You didn't see him Gucci down and Fendi down from head to toe and in fur coats and things like that. Because, again, it starts to breed envy. The same thing happened with Safari a few years ago. He's always stunting. That's part of his whole persona. And he ended up getting set up by his own homeboys. And, he had a gun put to his head. And that was the scariest moment for him because he could have lost his life. So we have to be very, very mindful of stuff like that. Let's see here. Dylan Miller sent a super chat. He says, Pop Smoke was calling up rap. I could literally listen to his album without skipping a track. There's nothing wrong with flossing unless you're not moving smart. Just like XXX, he didn't use security. I definitely agree with that. There's nothing wrong with it, but again, you have to move smart, and that's the problem is that a lot of people are not moving smart. They're just doing stuff, for social media validation and likes and hearts and things like that. So... was there anything wrong with him showing that he got gifts waiting for him when he got to the house? Absolutely not. But again, the problem is the gift had an address on there, so that, so that's the thing. You have to check for things like that. You have to check and double check and cross your T's, dot your I's before you post anything on social media, because once it's on social media, there's no taking it down. Even if he was to delete it, somebody's already downloaded it and screenshotted it. High school should have a mandatory finance class. They really should. Unfortunately, they don't. They do not have one. The Migos been flossing. A lot of the people do. A lot of folks do, and again, hopefully this wakes up the industry that, you know, because I saw a lot of influencers commenting on the Shade Room like, wow, this is a wake up. Now we need to be really careful with the things that we say and that we post, and we need to make sure that there's no way for people to, you know, go back and track our locations. So yeah, a lot of people. Tim Duncan has nice cars. Bro just doesn't brag. It's about Wealth 101. Folks that's doing wrong. Okay, so we talked about Pop Smoke here. And I've already been on for 44 minutes. I can't believe that time is just flying this quickly. So I want to go ahead and get on the whole Lil Boosie situation. Okay. So as we all know, Lil Boosie's been in the news. He went off the other day on social media. He was really upset. I'm sure you guys all know by now that Dwade and Gabrielle Union, they've been on this, you know, this tour basically concerning their son Zion, and they're saying that Zion wants to transition into a little girl named Zaya. And so they were talking about this to Ellen DeGeneres, and they've been on a few shows talking about this. And I think a lot of people are just at their wits' end with the conversation, and Lil Boosie went off. Caused a whole firestorm yesterday on social media. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys what Lil Boosie had to say. Y'all go ahead and check this out. Go ahead and find that here.
I gotta say something about this shit, bro. Dwayne Wade, you gone too fucking far, dog. That is a male. A 12-year-old. At 12, they don't even know what their next meal gonna be. They don't have shit figured out yet. He might meet a woman, anything, at 16 and fall in love with her. But his dick be gone. How you gonna... Like, bro, you going too far, dog. Don't cut his dick off, bro. Like, bro, for real. If he gonna be gay, let him be gay. But don't cut his dick off, bro. Like, don't address him as a woman, dog. He's 12 years old. He's not up there yet. He hasn't made his final decisions yet. Don't cut his fucking dick off, Dwayne Wade, bro. You fucking tripping, dog. You tripping, dog. You tripping, dog.
All right, you guys. So y'all just heard what Lil Boosie had to say. So this caused a lot of controversy. And I love how the mainstream media is trying to spin it like, oh, everybody on social media was, you know, attacking Boosie and calling him out for his transphobia and for disrespecting the Wades. Okay, let's not reach. There was definitely 50-50. I will say that quite a few people agree with Lil Boosie's stance. I mean, because I was reading a lot of different comments on different Instagram posts. So, like the Hollywood Unlocked, Shade Room, you know, and even Lil Boosie's original post. So, you had a lot of people who definitely agreed with Lil Boosie and understood where he was coming from. Then you had everybody else who was like, this is wrong. He's wrong. He's a horrible messenger. This man has all these kids. How about he worry about his own kids and stop worrying about D. Wade's son? So, I would say it was definitely mixed. It was definitely 50-50. A lot of my friends in the LGBT community were definitely upset, very, very pissed off because they feel like Boosie has no room to talk. And let's keep it real. He's also the same man who said in his song, and he also said on social media, that he would pay for his young son to get head at his birthday party, okay? So he has said that, and as you guys know, I'm totally against anything with hyper masculinity, you know, people trying to sexualize children at a young age. I do not feel like a father should be, you know, paying for his child to get a blowjob at 13 or 14, you know, and I talked about that in the past video, so I was definitely against that. But I'm also against, you know what I'm saying, somebody as young as Zion transitioning, you know, talking about changing genders. I've stated this before, and I'm not going to back up on my stance. I feel like children. I've always said that. This is nothing new. Do I agree with the way Boosie came across and the way he said it, talking about, you know, don't cut off his peen? I didn't like that. I just don't. I think that we didn't have to make it so sexual. We didn't have to disrespect the young boy. You know what I'm saying? Because he's still trying to figure out himself. So I didn't agree with all that. You know, don't chop that off. And because from what I watched, I don't recall Dwayne Wade or Gabrielle Union saying that they were going to transition him physically. Okay, I think for them it was more about calling him a girl and calling him by the name of Zaya. It wasn't so much him going under the knife and chopping anything off. So that's where Boosie was wrong in that aspect. Let me read some of these comments here. We have a super chat. Night God sent $14. He says, "Hey T, how are you? If you remember me, but we talked in the DM. By the way, thank you for responding and made me cry. Aww, that was the best Valentine's gift ever that I woke up to. Thank you so much. And your DM was wonderful, so I really appreciate that. So I'm glad that I made you feel good. I made you cry. Like, that's sweet. Thank you so much for the super chat. So let's see here. Okay, so people are asking, so Tav Yizriel says, where's the birth mother? So this is what I'm going to say about that. The birth mother is Siobhan. She is around. See, this is my issue with the Wades, okay? And I don't want this to go too left. I feel like there's a lot of things behind them talking about their son in this way. Something about the Wades and the moves that they've been making to me come off as seeking attention more than it is about, Zion's mental health and accepting Zion, being Zaya, right? Now, for y'all who are asking where's the mother, I went to look for her because I'm like, where is the biological mother? Because Gabrielle Union is not these kids' mothers, except for the little girl, okay? And the little girl was born with the surrogate. So that's the child that she has with Dwayne Wade. The other ones are by Siobhan. And so what happened is that Gabrielle, y'all who don't know, she was the other woman, okay? She was initially dating somebody, but when she got a chance to come up and get with Dwayne Wade, she left her current boyfriend, played him for Dwayne Wade, and Dwayne Wade cheated on his wife with Gabrielle Union. So their union has always been funny to me, okay? I'm not one of those girls who just goes around giving her props because I feel like people like Gabby because she's supposed to be like the dark-skinned female, whatever that people look up to. But to me, she's always come off as a low-key mean girl. And I also didn't like how, who's the real pretty girl? Ryan? I forget her last name, the real pretty brown-skinned girl. How she felt some type of way about Ryan. That always, made me feel like you should be trying to uplift this young girl, especially being that there's not a lot of beautiful brown-skinned girls in the industry instead of looking at her as competition. So she's always kind of like had that mean girl streak. But so we're going to get into some real shit here, okay? To me, this is bigger than even Lil Boosie. So a lot of people, you have a segment of the population who are fans of Gabrielle Union, who are fans of D-Wade. And then you got other people who are just not checking for either of them, especially Gabby, because we all know her backstory, right? So when they got together, D-Wade basically went on a crusade to make it look like Siobhan was just crazy. And a lot of people fell for it, myself included. I thought she was some batshit crazy woman. And, D-Wade needed to get all 3 of his kids because she was just, 2. The other one is the nephew. To get 2 of the boys because, she was just crazy. I remember her sitting in front of, like, the stadium in Chicago saying that she was homeless. And, Dwayne Wade was trying to take their boys from them. So basically where Siobhan is that she was forced to sign an NDA. They gave her a lump sum of money, and basically D-Wade got the boys. The judge sided with D-Wade. He took the boys from the mother. Now, I don't know how visitation works, if they get to see their mother, but from what I'm seeing, okay, good Melly Locks. I'm spilling some tea. Thank you. Y'all know where I'm coming from. I'm about to keep it really real about this situation, okay? I don't know how visitation works if Siobhan gets to see them, but there's an old interview, and I want you guys watching this live stream. I forgot the woman who's doing the interview, but put in Siobhan Wade I forgot what's her maiden name, Funches, I think. But put in Dwayne Wade's wife's interview. It's like a 4-part episode, and this interview was taped back in 2012, where her and her mother are breaking down the entire situation. Okay. When Dwayne Wade was, coming up, his family, they were going through like drug issues. I think his mother went to jail. Siobhan's mother stepped up and she allowed Dwayne Wade to move into her home. She took care of him like that was her son. fed him, clothed him. He moved in with them like junior or senior year. And at first she kind of felt funny about it because she was like, this is my daughter's boyfriend. I don't know if I should allow this. But because he was homeless, him and his sister, they literally had nowhere to go. The mother allowed them into her home. They, supported him. Even when Siobhan went off to college, they took care of Dwayne Wade. Only for years later, Dwayne Wade to basically shit on the mother and on the daughter and then move on to this, so-called happy life with Gabrielle Union. And they've never asked for anything. The mother has never wanted a dime for Dwayne Wade. She says, God has provided for her. She don't need Dwayne Wade to look out for her, right? So it gets really deep, their whole situation. But y'all have to go back and really watch those interviews. And even in that interview, Siobhan said that there were rumors back then, this was back in 2012, of people coming to her and saying that D-Wade was gay. And, she said she brushed that off. But then the same people who were talking mess about D-Wade ended up siding with him because he had the fame, he had the popularity, and the same basketball wives that she thought that she had grown a relationship with turned their backs on her. They basically ruined this woman's reputation. Long story short, she's like a deacon or something now. She's really into the church and things like that. So that's where she is. A lot of people think that the mother's dead. Other people think that Gabrielle Union is the biological mother of these boys. She is not. It is Siobhan. Those are Siobhan's kids. And you guys can go look that up. You guys can go look up the interview. Yeah, it's deep. So my issue is this. Something about the whole situation comes off as disingenuous to me. You know what I'm saying? Like her having him at the gay pride parades and things like that. I know people in the LGBT community who feel like gay pride is way too advanced for an 11-year-old child to be there. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, a lot of debauchery and things like that it should definitely be kept to, a more older crowd. And I felt like they were doing that more or less for themselves. Because, again, Gabrielle Union, she's that girl in some people's eyes, but in other people's eyes, she's not that girl. And they don't have the same energy towards the break baby. So if you guys don't know, a few years ago, Dwayne Wade cheated on Gabrielle. Well, he didn't really cheat. They were supposedly breaking up and taking a break. He got Asia pregnant. And she was on reality television, and she had to sign an NDA that she couldn't speak about them at all. So my thing is, if you guys are so for family, why was Gabrielle doing interviews not even a few years ago saying that, she has not accepted the baby? They wouldn't allow, because Asia was coming out blasting her on social media saying they would not allow the baby in Christmas cards and, in Christmas photo shoots. The baby was not allowed to be there publicly. They would only floss the kids that were there before. That's why you never really see family pictures and big printouts of them with the break baby, right? But now if you guys notice, a few days ago, they did a whole interview because people started calling them out. Like, you keep talking about Zion and you keep talking about, what he's going through, but we rarely hear anymore about Zaire, who's the basketball player, and you never talk about the break baby. And then mysteriously enough, a new article and a new interview of them talking about, how when he had a baby on, Gabrielle Union, it really tested their relationship. It so hurt. So now they're talking about the break baby. So I just feel like a lot of this stuff is just really contrived with them. Okay, so y'all are, am I spilling some tea? Y'all are seeing where I'm going with this? Okay, good. I'm just seeing some of the comments. She never acknowledged that baby until people started calling them out. Okay? Let me read some of these super chats. JT says, have you heard of Jazz Jennings? What do you think of her story? She's a trans girl. I know about Jazz. They took her to a professional to see she had gender dysmorphia, and they supported her choice. Yep, I've heard all about Jazz. Let's see here. Bree from NYC says, hey, T, love your channel. You always keep it real. And I've always heard that Gabby was a mean girl, and it's sad that we can't have an opinion on the LGBT community without being labeled homophobic. That's very true. Third Eye says, yes, what about the break baby? Why can't the child have an extended family of love? Jay James says, keep doing what you're doing, Queen Black Excellence. Thank you so much. Dorian Brooks says, as a gay man, I feel it's okay to support him wanting to experiment, but I feel like they should push him to focus more on being a kid. He's too young. Thank you so much, Dorian. And that's my point. Like, I just feel like there's ulterior motives. This is not so much about Zion transitioning or feeling like he's a girl. Like, let's keep it real. Not saying that Dwade was a horrible basketball player, because he was, he was phenomenal. Okay, he was right up there with the LeBron Jameses, Chris Bosh. They took the Miami Heat by storm. So, but I feel like people don't talk about him in the same light that they talk about LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and a few others. So what better way to get attention than to constantly talk about this and to constantly bring your child's business out there in the public eye? Same with Gabrielle Union. The only time she's really talked about recently was the controversy when she got fired and let go from that show. So I feel like this is just another way for them to keep themselves in the media, and, like you said, at this young age, he should be focused on being a child. And I just believe that wholeheartedly. If he feels like he's another gender and he's going through stuff, that's fine. But at the end of the day, he's a child. And I just don't like the fact that this is being so put out there public. And you have people tearing him down, people talking about his peen, people, dragging him. Like, eventually he's going to get, eventually he's going to see these comments. He's going to see that. And I seen Gabrielle Union post a thing talking about she's made for this and she can handle the backlash. Sis, that's fine, but it's not about you. It's not about you. It never was. So even though you're made for this and you can handle the backlash, my issue is, can that child handle that? Can that child handle the negativity that the world is spewing at him when he should just be a child at this point in time? And nobody's talking about that. This is no different than the situation that's going on with Desmond is Amazing. And I hit on this, the young boy that's the drag queen. And his sister recently came out, and I think it's his half sister on the father's side, I believe. But she's coming out and she's blasting the mom. And she's saying that basically the mom is pushing Desmond to do this. And she gets mad at him if he's not, because I think he had wanted to stop voguing. And the mom was pissed off that he wasn't into voguing anymore. And he's telling the sister that, nobody plays with him. Nobody hangs out with him. He's always having to dress up in drag. He just can't just do him. And I think it's very, it's very dangerous when you have parents forcing their kids into something one way or another, as opposed to just letting kids be, just letting kids explore, just letting kids be themselves. And I just feel like, for me, I feel like there's an ulterior motive to all this with the Wades. Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, they have not gotten this much attention ever. Let's keep it real. Ever. And now that's all people can talk about. Let me go ahead and see the comments. Let's see here. Facts. A child doing drag. Yeah, you got to go watch that video. They're making it impossible for that boy to change his mind. It's all over social media. People flip their shit over tips, daughter's business. Zion can't be compared to Jazz because Jazz has been transitioning since she was 3. They done interviewed her. Everyone should be careful about what they're saying about Zion. Don't need another tragedy. If nobody would have brought it up, there'd be none to speak of. Spot on, T. My mom told me when you turn 18, you be whatever you want, but under my roof, you're a child. Exactly. There's a video where he does gestures suggesting drug use. It's really disturbing. You're talking about Desmond is Amazing. I've seen those. I talked about it in my video that I talked about the child drag queen. I just feel like at this point, my Cash App is Cash App Lovely TTV. I feel like at this point, too many things are just being pushed to children, and we're just telling kids, you can just do whatever. Like, at some point in time, I have to use logic. A 12-year-old can't smoke. A 12-year-old can't drink. A 12-year-old legally cannot be out here having sex. But you want to tell me that a 12-year-old has enough wherewithal to say that they just want to be a whole nother gender, which is something very, very serious, okay? And even if they feel that way and they want to, cross-dress and wear, little girls' clothing, that's one thing. But with, you got parents now, starting their kids on hormones, trying to get them to transition. They're going through these surgeries. And like one of my trans friends that we had interviewed, he came on to the show a few weeks ago. I did a live stream with him, and he was very adamant. He had transitioned from a woman to a man. He was very adamant that children should not be starting hormone therapy. They should not be transitioning under a certain age, because he said he went to his mom and he begged his mom, this is what I want to be. I feel like I was always a boy. Let me start now. And the mother told him, no, let's wait until you're older. Let's wait to see how everything plays out. Let's wait till your body is where it needs to be physically, which won't happen until you're in your 20s. Then at that point, we can start exploring options. And he says that he thanks his mother to this day for making that decision. And that was the video where we talked about the whole Nikki Tutorials thing, because she started transitioning really young. I just feel like there's a slippery slope when you start, injecting hormones into children when they're that young. And I'm not saying that that's what Dwade and Gabrielle Union are doing. I'm not saying that. Because like I said, they've never made mention of this. They never said they were going to get him gender reassignment surgery. That's never come out their mouth. But for the ones who are dabbling in that, you just need to be really careful, because there's so many stories now of young people coming out and they're detransitioning. They're saying that they're not happy, that they were just technically just gay. Nothing more, nothing less. They were just lesbians, or they were just, homosexual men. But they thought that they needed to be transitioning because the parents were kind of pushing them towards that, or they felt that because of society and, just all the information that's coming out. So I say that to say, are there real people out here who are dealing with, gender dysphoria and transgenderism? Absolutely. I'm saying you have men who are transitioning to women and they really feel like they were born in the wrong bodies. That is a real case. That is real stuff. There are real people going through that. So I have no doubt about that. But what I'm saying is that for me, as a parent, it's a very, very slippery slope when we start saying that it's okay for kids to just come out the blue and say at the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that they feel like they were born in the wrong gender. No different than what Charlize Theron is doing with her son and, transitioning him right now into a girl. Whereas, what if he ends up changing his mind? What if that's not what the case was? It's okay to wait a few years. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand like the rush to push that and to push it younger and younger. So that, that's my issue with that. And I have to be honest with that. And that's not to disrespect anybody or to hurt anyone. I don't think that makes me transphobic for saying that. That's just me being 100% real and honest. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with the way that Boosie went about it and the way that he said it, and the way he was brash, but I get where some people are really coming from with this, is that these kids are so young. 5-10 years from now, is he going to feel the same way? That's just things that we need to, be real with. Let's see here. Hilly Da Vinci says Gia Gunn waited until she was 25. I'm not sure who that is, but I'll look her up. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's better for them to wait, because once you get to be an adult, especially in your 20s, for the most part, you kind of know who you are. You know what I'm saying? What you want to be, where you want to go in life. But when you're, 11, 12, 13, your mind changes with the wind. Like I said, kids, they want to be from anything from Spider-Man to, doing karate, to being basketball players, to being ballerinas. Kids want to be all types of things. That's what it is to be a kid. Those are your formative years where you can experiment and try different things out and try to figure yourself out. So just because a kid says that this is what they feel that they are, does not necessarily mean that will be the case 5-10 years from now. And that's where this slippery slope is going. Now I'm all for them supporting him. Let me say that. I do agree that they should support him. We don't need any kids being thrown out the home because of the lifestyle that they want to live. So I agree with them supporting him. But I also have to be honest that I feel like there is, there's an ulterior motive with them going on this tour. Because that's what it's starting to be now. It's starting to be a Zion trend. tour, you know what I'm saying, where they keep talking about this young boy and, you know, his sexuality and things like that, and him wanting to transition. And, you know, now they did another radio interview saying that he's not gay, he just thinks he's a girl. And it's like, y'all keep talking about this young boy's business. Is this really what he wants out there? You know, like I said, we don't even hear anything about Zaire anymore. Let's see here. TT says, Wade and Gabrielle helped him explore his sexuality. Do you think Gabby is behind his son coming out or engaging in the situation, or egging the situation on? I absolutely think so. I absolutely believe that Gabrielle Union is definitely behind it. Like I said, the boy has his biological mother, and the fact that she can't even speak out or say anything because she's under a gag order, you know, says a lot. You know, I'm all for her supporting him, but I feel like there's definitely an ulterior motive on her end as well. And I definitely feel like, you know, she's also helping to push the narrative because, again, anything that's tied to this young man who's now, you know, transitioning into a girl is also tied to the parents. So that's more press, more information for them. I mean, this is the same woman who sat there and told the world about a Uber driver taking a shit in her home. So it's like there's no coof when it comes to Gabrielle. So I can definitely see her, you know, pushing this out there and trying to get this seen and trying to get this push in the media and stuff like that. Let's see here. Pop Culture Guru says, I feel like we only say sexuality being forced on children when the sexuality isn't straight. Why is it that straight kids can know who they are at 10, but LGBT children have to wait until they're 18? I see what you're saying, but I don't even think that it's that, because I think for the most part, people act like people have this whole issue with gay people and, you know, young people being gay. I think that's not really necessarily the issue. Now, you have some people who are homophobic, and you have some people who have issues with, you know, anything that's not straight. So we're not going to act like that's not the case. But I think for the most part, what's really bothering people is the whole transgenderism thing that's being pushed on children. I think that because I mean, think about it. Growing up, you know, for the most part, people always knew the kids who were more effeminate, you know, who acted more, you know, quote unquote gay, who acted more lesbian. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people always were able to kind of spot out the girls who were, you know, you had some girls who were tomboys, and you had some girls that she gonna be, you know, she gonna be gay when she get older. You know what I'm saying? Because she's very masculine the way she comes off. And then lo and behold, years later, she's a lesbian. Or, you know, the one guy that was always with the females, that was more into the Barbie dolls and like that. And you were kind of like, okay, well, he might be kind of gay when he gets older and he ends up being gay. Now, granted, maybe some people might on him or bullied him, but for the most part, people just accepted it. And I think in this day and age, it's just more acceptable. Maybe it wasn't always acceptable in the 90s, but I think in this day and age, people are more open to it. You know what I'm saying? We see children who are gay younger and younger, and people, it's more accepted in the schools. But I think where this is becoming an issue for even people in the LGBT community is when it comes to children changing their gender. You know, it's one thing to be gay, but then it's another thing to when you're talking about changing your gender, and people are asking, well, do they necessarily need to change their gender? Are they just, you know what I'm saying, or is it just the homosexuality part of it? So I get what you're saying, but I also believe, you know, that it's not so much about people saying, well, you need to wait to be 18 to be gay, because if that's somebody's sexual preference, that's already there. But I think the main drive of this controversy is the whole younger kids getting younger and younger transitioning. So let me see here. ZB says, it's dangerous to keep his biological mother on the outs. Without this story, Gabe and Dwade would have nothing going on without this story. Love you, T. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And thanks for the super chat. Misty Blue says, how do I show you my lovely T portrait? I tried tagging you on Instagram. It didn't work. Just email it to me. Email it to my email, lovelyt2002@yahoo. Let's see here. I don't agree on being born that way. That's just my opinion. My mother had a friend whose wife used to dress their son in dresses. She got sent to a mental hospital because that was child abuse. Every trans I know says they knew when they were kids. Yeah, I have a few people that say that too. If Zaya wants to be referred to as a girl, that's absolutely fine. But major surgery is a huge no. I hope they're not trying to do that now. Exactly, they're not allowing them to test the waters first, feel their sexual identity out. They're just immediately jumping to the conclusion that allowing children to change their gender surgically. Let a child be a child. Dwayne Wade and Gabby are a disgrace. Trisha Paytas. Ooh, I missed that one. There's a bunch of comments coming through. I remember Gabby was wild back in the day. Dustin, you're wonderful. Keep it up. Thank you. Gabby's looking for a TV show, and they might. They probably will get one. You never know. A lot of people are saying that they're looking for a TV show. She's filming her show with... All these comments are moving so fast. I'm trying to them. Let your son do what he got to do. You just don't have to post everything about it. Okay. So, Han, you said, T, you need to stop shaming or you'll unsubscribe. Han, you can unsubscribe now. Matter of fact, you're blocked because I didn't shame anybody. So, see, that's the problem that I have is that when we're having a mature dialogue, you got bitches in their feelings. Okay? Who did I shame? I'm having open dialogue. I have the right to have my opinion just like you had the right to state yours. If you feel the need to unsubscribe because you feel like I'm shaming, by all means, exit stage left. And thanks for the money. People kill me with that. And that's the problem, is that as soon as you say something, people automatically want to get upset. No way disrespected this child. I'm stating an opinion. I do not agree that children that young should be transitioning. Period. That is my opinion. If you want your child to undergo surgery and get hormones, that's your child. That's your opinion. But why when somebody has a difference of opinion, then it's all this vitriol? And that's the part that makes people just want to tune out when it comes to any issues, because you people come out so hostile. It's not that serious. I haven't, in this whole time that we've been talking about this, I don't think I've been rude or disrespectful. Anyways, Jatari Mentor says, I always said that it's one thing to be gay, but that gender identity is something else. Yeah, it's a very deep subject. And I know, and I don't want to make it seem like it's something that's just easy. I have no idea how it feels to if you're in the wrong body. I don't know how that feels. I probably will never know how that feels. So I don't want to minimize anybody's issues. What I'm saying is at the end of the day, I want children to just be children. Now, once they get older and they feel like they want to transition and this is what they really feel like, because it's a lot that goes into that process. And once you're an adult and you can fully understand and grasp that, then do you. Period. Does Dwade have a book or something coming out soon? Probably. I need some help with money for a cash job. People are poor. Don't be in my chat e-begging. Don't do that. You're on timeout. Don't come over here e-begging. Let's see here. Well, the fact of the matter at hand is that all this was blown out of proportion by a child choosing to be referred by pronouns and changing her name. Truth, people take opinions personally. I embrace my gender. It was not even a second thought. I believe because we push the agenda, that's why children feel as though they need to choose. It's okay for a 12-year-old to make this kind of decision. Why is R. Kelly still locked up? Why am I seeing comments like that? I think... I don't even want to bring R. Kelly into this situation. No, I think certain decisions, kids are just too young. Certain decisions. Even with sex. I don't think anybody would be up here trying to co-sign a 12-year-old saying that they were having sex. Everybody would feel the same way, like, at 12, you're too young. It's an emotional thing. It's very spiritual. Like, I don't see people getting up here and saying that they'd be okay with a 12-year-old girl out here sleeping around or a 12-year-old boy out here sleeping around, getting head. So I don't understand why it's an issue when people are like, I think 12 is a bit too young to transition. It's no different than talking about something sexually with the child. And I feel like at 12 years old, I don't want to see a 12-year-old out here smoking weed, drinking, having sex. I think certain things should happen as they get older. And I'm always going to stand by that. And if you're offended, this ain't the channel for you. I'm not changing my stance on that. E-begging is when people think they can come into my chat and then cry about, how people should be giving them cash apps. No. My chat with that. That's called e-begging. Create your own platform, create your own fandom, and then you have people, send you cash apps and super chats and everything else. Don't come in here e-begging. I hate when people try and come and divert the energy. Like, they're literally in the comment section trying to shame people into sending them cash app money. Yes, way too young. I think you should be at least 25 before you're allowed to transition. Before your brain is fully developed, that child can wake up and feel like a boy at 18. I agree to disagree, but I respect you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have no problem with people disagreeing. You don't have to agree. Just like I don't have to agree with, people transitioning their children young. We'll just have to agree to disagree. Somebody says, exactly, you wouldn't let your 12-year-old daughter go out with fake nails or crop tops and getting ass shots. Why would you allow your 12-year-old son? There are people who are detransitioning as well, but people try to ignore that because it's a negative view of the trans community. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the part that's just sad, is that as soon as, and I heard that the people who detransition and who are honest about it, they get treated like crap. They get very much shunned because it puts like a bad light on the trans community. And I think that that's really sad. You know what I'm saying? I think that people have the right to say, you know what, this is not for me. I changed my mind. I don't think that makes them, horrible people. It's just something that did not work out for them. So I think we talked a lot about that. I've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes already. So let's go ahead and do the last thing. You're sad as fuck. Thank you, Jasmine. And you're blocked as fuck too, bitch. How you doing? I'll be sad all day and you're blocked. So let's see. We got another super chat. Tina Daughtry said, where is Zara or Zion's real mother? I already talked about that earlier in the chat, so you're going to have to check that out. Look, y'all be cracking it. Y'all know I will flip quick. Shit. We'll turn that off real quick. Don't come over here, honey. Don't bring the smoke unless you want to get smoked, okay? I don't got time for that. Don't come over here with the bullshit. Period. Okay, so the last thing here I want to go ahead and talk about is the woman, Jane Warfield in Indianapolis. I did the video about her yesterday. So now the mainstream media is trying to catch up, and they're basically trying to connect two and two that we the people on social media had already connected yesterday with her death. So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys
later this evening, Travis.
Yeah, guys, the family and friends plan to meet here and release balloons and light candles in memory of Warfield that killed her. Police haven't named a suspect or a motive, but said the shooting was targeted. Now, since her death, social media speculation has focused on this video she posted to Facebook just 24 hours before her death.
They chased me out of there. They was trying to kill me. Y'all, they tried to kill me. So anything happened to me, y'all know they tried to kill me today.
Now, police have been asked directly if social media played a role in the killing, and they refused to comment. Now, the vigil's going to be out here at 6:30, and at that point, we'll give you a little bit of a look at what they've got set up here during our 6 o'clock show. I'm Travis Robinson, Wish TV, News 8.
All right, so you guys just saw the updated story. So this entire situation is really crazy, and I've had a few people in Indiana DM me and give me more deets on the situation, and it looks like, the people that she was... Okay, first of all, the way she was going off in that live stream, I personally felt like it was way deeper than the guy just supposedly giving her oral sex once or twice. She obviously had a sexual relationship with that man, because you're not going to be that hard pressed to expose them if it wasn't something deeper. And a lot of people confirmed in my DMs that they were the guy that she walked in on, that they were having a sexual relationship. Now, let me go ahead and say this, because, some people are just idiots on social media. In my video, I in no way implied that it was okay for her to get killed. But yet and still you have silly bitches talking about, you're making it seem like what happened to her was okay. It's never okay to murder somebody. I'm like, bitch, did you actually watch the video? Should that not go without saying, even though I said in the video that it's never okay to kill somebody? Like, I don't think that I need to repeat that. Like, nobody deserves death because they exposed somebody. But what I'm trying to say is that you also have to be accountable for the things that you do, and you need to be mindful. Why is it that when I'm saying that you should not be going out here exposing some of these DL guys because they're batshit crazy? This is not new. This is like known behavior from DL men, where they've been known to kill gay men. They've been known to kill women because they are so closeted. They don't want that, they don't want that information out there. Why is this any different than if I was to say that there was like a young boy on social media flossing and gangbanging? And I'm saying, you know what? Did he deserve to die? Absolutely not. But you also should not be on social media throwing up gang signs and calling out gang hoods and saying, I want all the smoke. Certain things you shouldn't do because you can bring certain energy to you. Why is that any different? People would understand that logic if I was to say that a young boy who was on Instagram live gangbanging, brought that energy to him. But when I said that this grown woman exposing these people kind of brought that to her, all of a sudden it's all this confusion. People don't get it. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. At the end of the day, she shouldn't have went there. Does it make it okay? Was it justified? Absolutely not. And then I see a lot of people saying, well, all these DL men need to be exposed. She's a hero. I'm glad that she exposed them. Other people are saying that, once she walked in on them, she marked they were going to kill her anyways. That might be true, but you don't know that. But once she decided to go live and put it out there and also extort them, that definitely sealed her death. I think that sealed her death more than her walking in on them. Because even though she walked in on them, and a lot of people had already suspected that the man that she walked in on was a DL person, but because he's that dude in the community, nobody was willing to put that out there. So yeah, that might have been, a circumstance where she might have already been marked for death because she saw that happening. But trust and believe, the cherry on top was her going live and putting out their business out there. There's just certain people that you just should not rumble with. Let's see here. Erica sent the super chat. She says, just wanted to bless you. Love your spirit. Respect everything you do. Keep spilling the truth and the tea. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Latasha says, yes, I think she may have downplayed her relationship with him. Wonder if she was in a relationship with another man and dealing with him on the side. Yeah, you just never know. But I definitely feel like that relationship was a lot deeper than what she was trying to make it, because she was far too angry and it's like she was so giddy and ready to expose. And people were saying, she wasn't really giddy. She was nervous and, she wanted to put it out there to protect herself. That might be true because it felt like they knew who she was and they were going to come after her anyways. But I just think that her going that extra step is really what sealed her fate. So Lily says, people need to realize that social media will not save you from real life consequences. Folks need to stop airing out other people's darkest secrets out there for the world to see just for clout. I definitely agree. Jay Wren says, exactly, T. Do people not use their comprehension skills? They really don't. I had to block so many people who were coming on the post talking about, you're excusing them for killing her. You're basically blaming the victim. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's common sense. But like the funny thing, like I said, if this was a gang-banging little kid, nobody would say that you're blaming the victim. They'd be like, yeah, he shouldn't have been gang-banging. He shouldn't have been on live throwing up gangs and disrespecting gangs. But then when you point out the obvious, it's an issue. But again, that's the world that we live in, that common sense is not so common and everybody wants to be a victim. Just everybody's a victim nowadays. So yeah, honey, block, move on, go somewhere else. If you don't have common sense skills, this is not the channel for you, honey. But I just, I feel like at the end of the day, I don't think, people are saying that, okay, she needed to expose these people. We need to know about these DL men because they're spreading diseases and everything else. Why I think it's definitely wrong to be on the DL, especially if you're in a relationship with a woman. You know what I'm saying? I also feel like you have to be careful. Because there was even one woman who left a comment where she said that she was dating a guy. He did like 24 years in prison. And she happened to walk in on him playing with her sex toys. And they were like penises and stuff like that. So I'm assuming he was inserting them. And so he literally tried to kill her once she walked in on him doing that. He like literally tried to kill her. She ended up getting away. And I think he ended up going back to prison for something else, some type of probation violation. You know, so it's really real out there that you have people who are not comfortable with who they are. And yes, we can partially blame society for that, because society does not accept, you know, as a whole, homosexuality. As some of these people who feel like they have to be on the DL, they have to keep everything covered. But like I've always told, you know, several of my gay friends that I feel like it's not okay to mess with DL men, because to me, they're just using you as a sexual plaything. Nothing more, nothing less. They're just using you to get off. And then they're going back to their wives, they're going back to their girlfriends. And then a lot of times they'll take out that anger and animosity on those gay lovers. Like they'll beat them up. You know, like just put them through all types of abuse because they're fighting demons within themselves. Because they're still closeted, they're taking that animosity out on their lover because they're blaming them for low-key, you know, turning them out and stuff like that. So you have to be very, very careful and mindful when you're messing with people who are closeted. Don't allow anybody, I don't care if you're a man, woman, gay, or straight, don't allow anybody to use you as a sexual plaything. It's not okay. Quindino says, yes, I got no to be mean or anything, but was he really sleeping with his cousin, or was that just a rumor? Now, I heard mixed things on that. Some people in St. Louis are telling me that they were not really cousins, and that basically she was just adding more sauce to the fire. But they're like play cousins. You know how in the hood, you know, people claim each other all the time, like, oh, that's my uncle, that's my cousin. It was like that. So what I'm hearing is that they were not biological cousins, but that they claimed each other as cousins, but she put it out there like they were, you know, blood cousins, just to add more fuel to the fire. Okay, so Dorian Brooks says, this is 2 lessons that should have been learned by now. Don't expose people because the wrong ones will hurt you. And if you're on the low, but not okay to use women to cover yourself up. Amen. That is the truth. You got to live in your truth. Raquel says, yellow is your color. You look gorgeous, T. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Reese says, I understand your point, but to say she's clout chasing, she was upset and shocked. I wouldn't have went to social media either. Clout chasing is a word. Like, why does that word bother y'all? It's a word in the lexicon. So to me, that's clout chasing. When you're going onto social media to broadcast anything, I don't care if she was crying or she was, you know, joyous. You're clout chasing, because that was nothing that was needed to be posted on social media. So it's no different than if I just said she was looking for attention. She was. She did it for attention. She said when she started the live, I'm waiting for more people to come on here. I'm waiting for y'all to come on so y'all can hear what I got to say. That's a form of clout chasing. I mean, if those words are not sensitive, I don't care. That's how I speak. You know, it doesn't negate the fact that she went on there looking for attention to spill the tea on these guys' business. So to me, yes, it's clout chasing. That is attention seeking. Look, Elizabeth says she was clout chasing, Your Honor. I mean, a lot of people do it. I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people do it. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's how I speak. I'm not going to change the words that come out my mouth or how I speak and say stuff to make people comfortable. The words that come out is the words that come out. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, when people are taking to social media looking for attention and validation, and, you know, you're playing a dangerous game like that, because again, these are not just like DL men who are just like, you know, punks. Like, the dude that she exposed is a dude in that community that has a big reputation. So certain things, at some point in time, you have to weigh, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it even worth it to play this game? So, I mean, if that is harsh to say that, then so be it. But everybody knows in the hood that there's certain people you can play with, and there's certain people it's like, you know what? See no evil, hear no evil. Because you know that person is about that life, and they will, you know what I'm saying, they will make their message known. So everybody, you know, maybe if you don't come from that environment, you don't know, because maybe you've always lived in the suburbs or just whatever. But when you grow up in the hood, there's just certain people, even if you find them in compromising situations, you don't speak on that shit. And from what people are telling me, those people, they were definitely about that life. So there's just certain things you have to weigh out. And if that's harsh, then, you know, so be it. But I want people who come across my videos to really use common sense and discernment and to walk away learning something. So if they find themselves in that same situation, you know, while it can be, you know, fun to like kiki and you know, spill some tea and talk about stuff, but certain things should just be left at you know, tabletop. You know, something like that, even if she couldn't hold that in, that's something that you call your homegirl with or your cousin, and you talk to them like, girl, look what I just found out. You can't tell nobody. That's something that that if you had to get that out, that should have been the first move, is to just call somebody and tell them. Like, girl, look what just happened. You better not say shit, da-da-da-da. You know he's about that life. I don't want him coming after me. Like, that's something that you spill to your best girlfriend. That's not something that you take to social media and that you tell to the world when the people that you're exposing are about that life. Period. That's why a lot of people in the hood don't snitch, because they literally could lose their life. Exactly. Exactly. How many people have witnessed, you know, shootings and murders and everything else, and then they find out who was behind the shooting? It's like, okay, well, you know, just fall back. Because there's certain people in the neighborhood who have that reputation. Like, if you say anything, I'm coming after you, and I'm willing to do those 25 years. So there's certain people that you have to weigh out in the hood. Then you got other people who, they talk a good game, they're punks, and people have no problem snitching and telling on them. But then you have certain people that are just batshit crazy. Obviously was a case here. Look, somebody said you better talk to God about it. I wouldn't be saying shit. I know that's right. I'd have been praying that night. I'm sorry. And people can say, you know, oh, well, she had already sealed her fate when she walked in on them. Not necessarily. Because honestly, had she walked in and just ran out, you know, granted they was upset, they was mad, but I think they were probably trying to play it to see how she was going to play, you know what I'm saying, what she was going to do next. Like, we're street dudes, so I'm sure she's not going to say shit. But then when she got the calling and asking for $5,000 and wanting bands of money and telling they got 2 hours to pay her and give her money, then it was like, okay, so now she's trying to be funny. She must not know who we are. So again, I'm sorry, you just have to weigh certain things. Certain things you have to weigh, especially when you're a woman, especially when you're a mother. There's just certain things you have to weigh the consequences, and everything ain't worth it, period. Let's see here. We have a super chat from Tedrina. Says, I agree, she was clout chasing. If she was really scared for her life, she would have went to the police or told her family RIP. Exactly. And that's my thing. Everybody's trying to make it look like, like it's so innocent. But yeah, if she was that concerned and really worried, the first thing is going to the police and letting them know that they threatened her and this and that, because there's nothing Facebook can do for you. There's nothing people watching your Instagram live can do for you. Quindino sends $9.99. He says, T, I'm so sick of these sensitive people. T, can you explain to us when did sensitivity level come on the rise on social media, and why are people so sensitive? Do you know why they need help? I just think part of it is like everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody wants to be heard. So if you have nothing else to bring to the table, if you have nothing going for yourself, then it's just easy to play victim. I really think that's what it boils down to. We live in a very sensitive day and age where you can't say certain things. You can't use certain vernacular. You can't just tell the truth about shit and put it out there, or hell, God forbid you have an opinion that differs from the masses. Then all of a sudden you're mean and you're insensitive and I'm unsubscribing and I'm unfollowing. Like I said, I don't worry about those people. Them folks come and go, honey. You know what I'm saying? But we just live in a day and age where everybody wants to be a victim. Being a perpetual victim is, victimhood is just, it's praised in this day and age. Having strength and facing adversity and coming out of that adversity, it's boring. It's easier to be a victim and, oh, well, it's me 24/7 than to actually just, figure some shit out and not sulk in victimhood. So unfortunately, that's the day that we live in. Medboy78 says, love your channel, lovely tea. My wife and I watch your channel, and we always be keying about the good stuff you be talking about. You should come to Toronto. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you to you and your wife for supporting my channel. I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, so it's a lot of crazy stuff. I'm sure there's going to be more information, coming out as the days go on. They have not been caught. So, I don't know. The whole situation is just really sad. Let's see, Nicole Gwen says, I learned a new word. Don't ever change, dear. Thank you. I won't. She made it into an example for her future accidental walk-ins. Yeah, it's really sad. T, do you know what you're going to do? What's going on with Lil Nas X not being gay anymore? Is that true? I didn't hear about Lil Nas X not being gay anymore. I didn't know you could turn that off. I thought if you were gay, you were just gay. So I haven't heard that one. I seen him shooting like a new music video, and he had on he looked real crazy, like he was like half horse. He had like this big bodysuit on and red eyes. So I haven't heard anything about him not being gay. Let's see. Soapman says she tried to expose them with the threat of exposing them. Is that not important to mention? Exactly. Again, people want to ignore the obvious. It's I'm wrong for calling it out because she's a woman. But we're ignoring the obvious that I think she should have just left it alone. I wouldn't even played any games with them, as far as extorting them, demanding money. Because, again, some people are really crazy. And especially when you're talking about, the DL lifestyle and toxic masculinity. And you have some of these men, they love to engage in, gay sex, because they're, it's a quick nut. But then after that, they snap back to reality and there's all this guilt and shame and everything else. And they end up taking that out on other people. And you just have to be careful. How many stories have I done on my Lovely News Network about, these so-called straight men? We had that famous story a few years ago about the football player. Very handsome young boy. Everybody thought he was for the girls, but he was, dipping with a transgender woman who had all her male parts. And so when the transgender woman was threatening to expose him because he was, cheating on her and everything else, he ended up killing her. So you have people again, this has all been documented. People who are closeted and they end up just, going off the deep end. So people need to be very, very careful. There's people losing their lives behind stuff like this. Okay, so you guys remember that story? Yep, that happened a few years ago. Alex says, I'm from Indianapolis. I just wish she would have not done that. You don't mess with Hogville. It's very serious. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people from Indianapolis were telling me is that Hogville is really bad. Like, it's a really, really rough area. I'm saying? It's like the hood of, all of Indianapolis. So, yeah, it's sad. Gavin Drippin says, I'm from Indianapolis and my cousin knows the larger guy. He's a former drug dealer who's now a truck driver. Word around is that now he's on the run in a truck. Lord, y'all spilling all types of Indiana tea, honey. Yeah, I've heard a lot. A lot of people sent me that, and a lot of people were saying that she messed with the wrong guys. So, I don't know. They're not in jail. Nobody's been arrested. But again, I just hope that people learn from that it's not a joke and use social media wisely. I don't care if this is from what we about in the beginning with Pop Smoke, to Lil Boosie just, going on this whole tirade, to this woman, outing these DL guys. We have to get back to the mind frame of using social media properly and being respectful, and just understanding that your words hold power and you can put certain things out there and you can bring certain energies to you. And that's what she did. Yes, I'm from Indianapolis, and the crime rate is very high. I didn't know it was that bad in Indianapolis until I was researching the story, and they said that there's been a lot of murders in Indianapolis in 2019 and into 2020. And the same thing's been happening in Minneapolis and St. Paul, the Twin Cities. So it's been sad. We lost a lot of young people this summer, to just different violence and shootings and all types of stuff. So it's crazy out here. You got to stay prayed up, stay prayed up and honey, just stay positive because it's really scary out here. In Hogville, everybody knows everybody. I'm from the east side of Indiana. It's gotten really bad with the crime. I low-key believe that DL men... Hold up. All these comments are going so fast. I hope whoever did this gets caught. She knew who she was playing with. She thought they would pay her money. And when they did, she used her life to gamble and lost terribly. Why are some making spreading of HIV a DL issue? HIV isn't a gay disease. This isn't the early 80s. I agree. Thank you, JMT. That's a really good point. Yeah, and that's the thing that a lot of people are trying to say, that it was okay for her to expose because there's so many, DL men and they're passing diseases to straight women. Honey, you got male hoes out here who are straight as an arrow passing diseases to straight women. So yeah, let's not do that. There's a high rate of STDs in the black community in general, and I think that comes from reckless sex, both gay and straight. You have people out here just fucking willy-nilly. You look at Future alone, how many children that he's done, had in the past year or two. So you have people just out here having all types of raw sex and not being responsible, and that happens in all communities, not just gay and straight. So that was a really, really good point. So thank you. So Rocky Nation says, I'm a gay man, but transitioning into a female. I personally have a problem with being with DL, bi, or straight men. And I watched your video about it. DL men are very dangerous from experience. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that you agree with me. And it's the truth. They really are. Like, they've done a lot of things to hurt trans women. They've done things to hurt regular women, you know what I'm saying, and gay guys. And I definitely feel you. That's what I tell my friends all the time. If you're gay, get into a relationship with a gay person who is openly gay, who knows who they are, who knows their sexuality. They're not closeted. They're not hiding. You're not, ashamed. They're not ashamed of you. They can't show you to their family and they can't show you on social media. Like, why even deal with those types of relationships? Like, I understand some people get into those relationships because of the money. Because, sometimes when you mess with DL or who are bi or who are just, sexually fluid, they might hook you up with gifts and take you shopping. But after a while, that gets old. That gets very, very old. And I think at the end of the day, we're on here on this planet to find love and to find companionship. So again, like I say, never allow anybody, I don't care what your sexuality is, to let somebody use you as just a plaything where they can just, treat you like a doll and put you back on the shelf when it's convenient. That's a really good point. King Stallion says, I would never date a DL guy. They are too dangerous and they don't show you off. Definitely. HIV and all that shit. These comments are just flying. Something about HIV. I agree, people are out here having reckless, raw relations and spreading it to everyone. Yup, it is the truth. It is the truth. Okay, HIV, AIDS, all that other stuff comes from anybody by putting my tinfoil hat on. Tells me it comes from a shot. Okay. She posted that man's pic on her Facebook page. Yeah, she made the man's picture her entire backdrop. So, I mean, you can't tell me that it wasn't clout chasing. It wasn't just, people trying to make it look like it was a case of, she was so scared that she had no choice but to run to social media and blast these guys to help, black women know of, the DL lifestyle. No, it was deeper than that. She not only posted his picture, if you see the screenshot that I took, I don't even know if they took her Facebook page down. I'm hearing that they did. She had the man's picture as her backdrop. And she had on there gay bird. So, come on. Let's call a spade a spade. And nobody's saying that she deserved to die. Nobody deserves to die over something like that. It's never that serious. But what we're saying is that this is what happens. These are some of the consequences when you go looking for social media validation and attention. These are just some of the consequences. Moonchilla sent $19.99. Thank you so much for the super chat, sis. I appreciate it. Let's see. Am I freezing up? I hope not. Let's see here. What if she was lying and she really caught him with the chick? I don't think she was lying. I think most people have confirmed that he was caught with a man. So I don't think she was lying about that. She was just doing the most. That's what that was. It is low self-esteem and low self-worth. A confident person dates someone who treats them as such. Amen. That's the truth. Men spread HIV faster because of semen. Let's be honest about it. Yes, they do. But again, that goes for gay and straight men. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's a gay man or a straight man, they spread it, faster because of that. But again, it's spread. So we shouldn't just try and push it as, oh, it's DL men that are infecting all straight women. There's straight men who are not on the DL also affecting straight women. So as women, you need to be careful in general. Okay, the audio's not in sync. Okay, so it looks like YouTube, I guess the conversation's getting too deep because I'm looking at my screen and it looks like it's clocking and you guys are saying that it's not syncing. And I've been on here for almost 2 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to log off. This was an amazing chat. Thank you to everybody who came through. Thank you guys for the super chat. I hope we had just, it was just nice to have like a really open discussion about everything. And like I said, definitely go and check those interviews from Dwayne Wade's wife, Siobhan. She stated a lot of stuff, and this was from years ago for y'all wanting to know more about her. So I'll definitely do another live stream probably later on this week. I'll try and get some more lives. Now that everything's kind of slowed down and I'm getting ready to launch and everything is in place, I can come back and, continue live streaming and podcasting and stuff like that. So I'm really, really excited. You know what I'm saying? This month has been crazy so far. But, we just got to hang in there and see what else 2020 has in stir for everybody, okay? So thank you guys once again for joining me, and I will see you guys later. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to log off. Talk to y'all later.